we've given the ability to the families to see exactly how much they owe us. Now we want to actually take that money from them. Now, this step will only be for people that have signed up to our merchant. And this is why we recommend signing up to the merchant, because it all flows in nicely and it's all linked. Okay. So if you need help with that, just send us an email. Okay. But essentially what happens is here we'll be able to see. Okay, the button's not there because someone's pressed it. Someone must be testing. That's fine. So there'll be a button here next to your send notifications invoices, which shows the debit all latest reference / outstanding invoices. As you can see that like bottom line. And what that means is when you click that button, it's going to bill your latest reference period. Okay, so in this particular case, it's June 14 to June 20. Okay. Now, as you can see, and someone else asking before, if we don't change the dates, right, we'll be able to see different periods and different, reference periods and whatnot. So one thing to note is when you click the bill button, it will only be billing your latest reference period. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about all the other stuff that appears on the screen. That's fine. It's all good. Just note that you will just be billed for that one. So let's say you decide, and one thing to decide as a center, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, is are you going to generate your invoices one day and bill your families on the same day, or is it going to be like a day after or 2 days after, whatever the case is? Let's say hypothetically we go with Monday generating invoices and Tuesday billing our families. What will happen is on Monday, I will do this step here, generate my invoices. It'll print my summary. I'll go through and just have a quick look to make sure they all look correct. Okay. And then when I'm ready on Tuesday, I will just come in and click that bill button. And then that's it. All the families will be billed. Okay. For anyone that bills families on different days and different periods, let us know. You can create tags to sort of separate which families you bill on which days. As you can see, for example, Monday weekly. So I can run my Monday weekly tags and it will show all of my families that are Monday weekly. And then I just click the bill button. That's it. Okay. So in OWNA, you have full control when you bill. Okay. So basically you'll come in on the day you want to bill or days you want to bill and just click that bill button. Okay. So you have full control over it. After you generate the invoices, the invoices have been sent to the families. And if you want to further notify them about it, you can send the notification, but that's optional. Okay. Once you've generated it, the families can see it. And then once they see them, you'll have little eyes here. Okay. Because we viewed it twice. That shows that the family is actually seeing it as well. So one question we get is why not email them? Okay. By doing it through the app, we have full control of their track. We can track it. We have full control of the tracking mechanisms. So yeah, that's why we do everything in-house. Now, one thing to note with billing, when you click this debit latest reference button, it will put you into a queue, as you can see here in debiting queue. Someone actually clicked this button for us today at 10:40. Okay. So what that means is we want you to get all your debits in by 3 p.m. daily. Okay. We do a payment run every single day. And as long as you get it in by 3 p.m. daily, it means we can send it off to the merchant, which is Fat Zebra. And by 5 p.m., they process all of that. And all the accounts will go processing after that 5 p.m. Okay. So we've done it at 10:40. You just wait until the end of the day and then you'll see everyone who's been processed go to processing. Okay. And now what happens is you also have the ability to bill each individual family, right? Now, why you would do that is if you wanted them to be, if they were outside that date period, first of all, right, it wouldn't be picked up in this debit queue. So you can just bill them separately, right? So if you've run a different period for one particular family because you wanted to invoice them a month or something or whatever the case is, you can then go and just debit them, right? Or maybe you might have paused the family. Okay, so that's a good thing to talk about really quickly, and I will get to that red button. But when you're on the family accounts page, like the actual profile for that family, right, where you would linking all your parents, your carers and guardians, and your children. On the right-hand side, you can do two things. Okay, you can limit a family. So even though their bill might be for $1,000, I want to limit them so no more than $200 is taken. Okay, if you update that, only $200 will be taken. And you can also pause them, right? So if you pause a family, okay, when you click this debit button, and I did it before but may not have paid attention to it, if you read the little subscript, you'll see it says accept paused account. So what that means is it'll go through, look at every single latest reference, but it will skip any family which is paused. Okay. And on the family screen, you can run a filter at the top, which is showing all your paused families if you want. And the reason you'd pause someone is like, let's say our debit date's Tuesday and they go to us, oh, look, my payment's been delayed, so I can't pay on Tuesday. Can I pay on Thursday? you pause them, and on Thursday you'll come in and just click that debit now button. Okay, that's sort of how that process works. When you go to the family statement, okay, so under one sec, I do the quick link, right? But basically it's under families, family transactions. You find that specific family, mass, for example, and then put them up here, run the report, and you get their statement, okay? Once you're in the statement, you can actually manually add in transactions. Now you can add in credits, which is what, like we were saying before, which is payments, okay? So they might have not paid you by direct debit for something. They might have paid you into your bank account directly, so you can go in and record it, okay? And if you're not using the billing system, this is how you would enter all your payments in, okay? And you can clearly see why the billing system, you know, why we recommend it is because all the payments just automatically integrate, okay? So when you look at your accounts, those payments that have been taken would automatically be here, whereas on a manual process, you'll have to go in and add them in manually, okay? And obviously there's room for error and whatnot, okay? So you'll come here, add your debit, add your credit, put in the details, and that will go in and stay on the statement, okay? And anytime you do add transactions or taking payments, make sure you're very clear in your descriptions so the families know exactly what they're what that line item, whether it's a debit or a credit, what it relates to, okay? And then if you're taking a payment, same thing, come to this screen, take a payment, and you can enter whatever amount you want. Depending if they have direct debit details or credit card details, there'll be the relevant buttons here, and you just take a payment from that way, okay? If you want to take a payment from a different credit card altogether, you have that option as well, okay? All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about is on the family accounts, you can actually tag your families. So as you can see here, we've gone through and tagged our families with quite a few different tags. Now, the reason you might want to tag families is to group them all together, especially when, and one thing I didn't mention, when adding transactions, if the transaction is the same, like same amount, same credit, same day, whatever, you can add it on a multiple level, okay? And you can either select different families like this, right? Or you can tag them, okay? So now when you're looking at tags, just think of it as an easy and fast filtering mechanism, right? Instead of having to select 35 different families individually, right, that all apply under one category, then you can just create a tag and use it that way. So I can apply that, you know, credit or debit in this case to that tag. You can use tags when generating invoices, okay? So as we were talking about before, if you have weekly and fortnightly families, you can create a tag here, tag them as weekly, and then every single time you generate a weekly period, you select the weekly invoice family, generate, and it'll generate for all those families, okay? And then you can also bill using tags. So if you have certain people paying on different days, you can tag them accordingly, and then on Monday, you'll run, let's say, for example, your weeklies, you'll do your Monday weeklies. Make sure you always run that report, okay? It'll show you just the Monday weeklies, and then you'll bill, okay? If in this particular case, you're also doing Monday fortnightlies, because I know some people have fortnight A or fortnight B or whatever, you'll then run that tag, and then you can keep clicking this button, by the way, and it'll bill them as well. Same thing, monthly. Anything you guys want to do, you just create the date period. There's no, you don't have to create it per se. Like, it's not something you do. You just create it by a tag. So yes, if you want to accept a monthly payment, you definitely can offer that. And what we always recommend is if you're going to bill the family for a monthly, just make sure you select that monthly period when generating the invoices. So let's say 21st of whatever that is, June to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you take it all the way, okay? So you just create a monthly, I'm hoping that's 4 weeks, generate that invoice for that family, and then when you bill them, it's billing them on a monthly basis, okay? Now, when it comes to using tags, if you only have 1 or 2 families, you may not consider making a tag because you can just as easily know the families, you know, and select them this way, right? Might be faster. Whereas if you have 35, doing this 35 times can be a bit, you know, time consuming. So just create a tag and link them up, okay? And when we're talking about tags and applying them, you come to the family accounts screen, okay? Here where you have all your accounts. At the top up here, you have a family tag section, create the tags, and then you can apply them to the families, okay? So when applying to the families in a bulk setting, just tick this little checkbox, okay? So this family, this family, this family are all my, I don't know, weekly or whatever tag you've created, and then you just go and apply it, okay? So let's say, for example, I tick, let's do weekly this one, okay? If they currently have tags and you want to override everything, you can actually click that override current tags button and look at these tags here, right? They'll all just be gone. And every family I've just selected is now part of that section, okay? If I didn't click override, it would just add that tag on top of, okay? So let's say, for example, these are weeklies, right? But they're also, I don't know, IS or something that we've got. Yeah, I can tag them without overriding and it just adds a tag, And that's it. Just an easy way to filter. And then you can filter them this way as well. Okay, so you can see all my family just have an IS tag. Done. Nice and easy.